Vedic books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is our specialty where we teach about
Right.
how to develop love for God. That's our what we say job. And we have got temples in China and the Philippines.
So right now
Uh,
you are in Singapore or in India?
I am in Singapore now.
In Singapore.
Yes.
Uh, so we have a next session also coming up from Singapore only. We have one CEO from Singapore, Art Systems. So he is the person behind us for happiness. So we
Oh,
have a center of happiness in his name. So it is
oh,
called Reiki Center of Excellence. So his
Reiki,
name
yeah.
is Satinder Singh Reiki. Reiki.
Oh, oh.
So this is how things are going at Amity University, and we keep on doing session on inspiration and happiness for the students and the community.
Mm,
So, and this is the one of the session we keep on doing.
mm,
We also do sessions with the government, with the corporates, and even with the NGOs. So we have trained so far 200 universities on happiness. With the Ministry of Happiness in India, we also have done with some 100 schools and colleges. We have trained them.
mm,
Stanford University, Cornell University, foreign universities, they keep inviting us for doing sessions for their students also. So this is how we, this is the
mm,
contribution that our university is doing for the community in the area of happiness
mm,
in different
mm,
dimensions.
very good. I am
So
very much impressed.
thank you, Sundarji. So as we say, this session is about secrets of happiness, and so far we have heard from different CEOs and different government offices, okay, what their meaning of happiness is. I'm sure okay, this kind of a session will be a different kind of a session, and we will be all ears to listening to you. And I have my wonderful boy Akshay, who is attached already with you. He's one
Mm,
of my wonderful student. Thank you, Akshay, for
mm.
joining. And the camera is on. Good to see you, Beta, after a long time. How are you, Akshay?
It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker today, His Divine Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu, the founder and president of International Sri Krishna Mandir ISKM in Singapore. His Grace is a spiritual guide, a natural leader, and a teacher teaching the science of Bhakti Yoga around the world. Currently, he is serving as the temple president of International Sri Krishna Mandir in Singapore. He also serves as the esteemed governing body commissioner of the ISKM temples around the world. A brief bio about His Grace now. His Grace Sundar Prabhu took birth in the year 1955 in Singapore, having his ancestral roots in Tamil Nadu, India. He joined the Singapore Armed Forces for national service, during which he joined the Krishna consciousness movement. He had developed an inclination towards spirituality while being at home, where he was blessed by having devotee parents. His faith and devotion further intensified after receiving initiation from his spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, in 1977, when he decided to dedicate his life also for spreading the teachings of this missionary movement, which intends to spread the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna around the world and God consciousness in the world. In 1983, he was appointed as the temple president in ISKCON Houston in Texas, US. After his service there, he returned in Singapore to establish a new society by the name ISKM. Despite so many difficulties and challenges, he continued to offer his valuable service. Ever since, he has been instrumental in encouraging, supporting, and nurturing the devotees all around the world. His down to earth lifestyle and his unparalleled knowledge of the Vedic scriptures continue to inspire everyone. His grace has successfully transformed the lives of countless devotees around the world with his valuable experience of over 45 years in spirituality. And he still continues to do so in the same spirit of service. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here, Prabhu, with us today. And on behalf of our Amity family and entire Amity fraternity, we would like to welcome you to this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Akshay, for introducing our wonderful guest, Mr. Sundar Gopal Das, whom we lovingly call as Prabhu and His Grace. And on behalf of Amity University, we formally welcome you for this Center of Happiness, and we have a objective of spreading happiness among the university students and the faculty and the community around. And this is an initiative that we have taken by inviting we invite people of different perspectives, different perceptions people have on happiness, and being in charge of human values. This class is also for human values. So happiness, human values, social work, they all are somehow interconnected. Happiness being a consequence, social work being the cause. And what we can relate from your ISKCON, the work that you are doing since so many decades, that the whole world is aware of that, and you name the country and your presence is there in of your ISKCON. And we would like to hear more about it, and how your organization is doing, and how the corona has posed some challenges to you, and some secrets of happiness that you can share with my students. They are as young as 18 year of age, around 22 of age. At that age they are listening to you, and almost people are joining from different locations. Right now university is closed. You can say university are not students coming, not all are coming physically. I can see only two boys are coming right now in my class, two boys and girls, but most of them right now in the audience are at their own home. So some students are wondering what to do in this corona time, where is happiness. So if you can tell few things about that, we have some questions there for you. So first we would like to hear something about you, and then we take one by one questions, please. Over to you, sir.
So thank you very much for inviting me to your wonderful program of trying to seek happiness. So I guess
So
I'm very fortunate to be with all of you today, this morning for you, and I think it is the afternoon here for me. I'm kind of many miles away, at least 2.5 hours away. In case you know about Singapore, it's a little island here in Southeast Asia. It is a very prosperous nation. I'm sure you must have heard a lot about it, and many of you may even have uh, visited the island. So we have been, I'm born here. So we are practicing our faith, Krishna consciousness, by the mercy of our spiritual master. He's from India. I'm sure you know A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I think you can see, if you see my video, you can see a picture of him right at the back of me.
So we would like to hear a little bit about the journey of your organization, because that would be a big interest to all the students here who are working with NGO. So if you could tell a little bit about the journey of your NGO, how it started and how it has reached to this level where we are right now.
Well, we started in the year 1975 when I kind of joined the institution. At that time, it was very much in the infancy stage. So we, one of the pioneers who, you know, endeavored to start the organization, particularly outside India. And Prabhupada, our spiritual master, was, encouraging all of us to open branches all over the world. So Singapore, we started practically. I mean, he sent some people here in '72. Somehow or other, they didn't stay on. So in '75, we have started in Singapore, and Singapore also is the only country that refused to allow him inside here to, preach. So we kind of took up the ham, and from '75 we have started, and it has progressed to this stage now where we have a full-fledged temple with deities and uh, devotees, practicing our faith outside of India, doing all the duties of a brahmana, preaching. Brahmana's duty is six kind. He has to learn the scriptures, speak on the scripture to teach others. He has to worship the Lord. He has to help others worship. You have to accept donation and give donation. These are the six duties of the Brahmin culture. So we are kind of introduced that here, having been connected to Srila Prabhupada by initiation, Diksha. So then we have been preaching to not only Indians, but all over, all races and Chinese, mainly Chinese and Indians. So as we have gone from time to time, we have also a huge Ratha Yatra festival which draws in about 20,000 people, and we established that. So it is very what we say unique society which has grown from leaps and bounds over the years. And right now we are in the process of trying to kind of build a proper temple. So all these things are happening, and also we have expanded our services from here to various countries like China, the Australia, Philippines, to Malaysia, and to, of course, Bangladesh, and Russia, and of course our society is all over the world. But from Singapore, we are overseeing these countries, and also in LA. So like this, we have, you know, preached our Krishna consciousness. Recently, we have started, owing to this COVID problem, we have started also classes through Zoom to India, in Hindi, in Telugu, in Kannada, in Tamil, and Oriya in Bengali. So the same happiness that we teach has been spoken to in different languages in all parts of India. Okay, now I think I saw the screen share. So this way we are kind of speaking about happiness, because you are speaking happiness in your sessions. You speak about happiness from the material viewpoint. But happiness is actually of two kinds. One is material happiness and the other one is spiritual happiness. So we have to understand that, because material happiness is based on four things: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. This is the material happiness. It is same.
Can you please repeat? Can you
Uh,
please repeat?
uh,
Eating, sleeping.
but eating, sleeping, mating, and defending.
Okay.
Okay, these are the happiness that we get, because when we speak about we have to ask. I'm sure you are Indians. You call each other as Atmi, Atma, correct? Yes. So Atmi, Atma means that we are not this body, but we are actually soul, spirit, soul. So when we are spirit, soul means that we are inside this body. Can you show this verse, Haribol? Uh,
Yes, Prabhu.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 13. Can you see the screen by chance? So it's very important, because this is spoken by Krishna himself, in you're in, I'm sure you are in Delhi. So it's just a few hours away. That's Kurukshetra. It's a place called
Yes.
Kurukshetra. I'm sure you are familiar. And that place, this Mahabharata war
Yes.
took place some 5,000 years ago. And there, just prior to the
Yes.
war, Krishna and Arjuna had a discussion, and that is called the Bhagavad Gita. So in that Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining, you know, who we are. You know, he's explaining about five things. One, who we are, and who is God, and what is this
I
material
have that
nature.
verse that you are saying, chapter
Yeah.
2, verse 13,
Yeah.
on my screen. Do you want me to share that screen?
Yes. Can
I
you
have
share?
that verse.
Yeah. Dehinosmi yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. Okay. The embodied soul. You see here, this is the verse.
In these corona times, Swamiji, Prabhuji, this issue of networking, this issue of online issues are bothering many situations. Now it is there. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see. So you can see in this verse, Dehinosmin yata dehe. So the Dehi, the spirit soul is inside this material body, you know. So you can go to the translation as the embodied, see the embodied soul. So we are actually soul inside this body. And we are passing in this body because we are life. We are going from boyhood to youth to old age, and then the soul similarly passed to another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. This is spoken by God Himself. Dehino smin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. So we go through kaumara and yavana youth, and then we go through old age, death. Old age is jara, and then tata dehanta prapti. At the time of death, we go to another body. So now the most important thing is the soul. Because if the soul leaves the body, no matter how much you decorate the body with jewels or education or anything, it is just useless. So we have to understand priority, where we are going to put our priority. If it's going to be based on the body, then we are actually kind of short to say that wasting time, because the body will die. Yeah, how much I try to get to and satisfy the body with all this material comfort and all, it is of no point. See, the missing point is trying to satisfy the soul, and then the soul will be satisfied. That is real happiness. Material happiness does not hold ground. It is temporary. Today you may be happy, tomorrow you may be sad. As soon as you try to chase for happiness, sadness is already following. You go 7742. Can you go?
So at this young age, Swamiji, at this young age, these
Mm.
students
Mm.
who are full of ambitions, full of energy, how do
Mm.
we tell them? Because these issues are very difficult to be told to them. Is there any kind
No,
of
you see, this
ways we can, how
first
we can
thing,
guide them?
yeah, first thing is that you have to know who you are. If you know you are a spirit soul, then yes, then the next thing is to,
But that should be a experience or the assumption for them to
well,
start.
yeah, that is the first thing one should learn. This is actually what Krishna spoke in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. The first thing, that you are not the body, we are spirit soul. So once we see, like in mathematics, if I get the first equation right, then all my subsequent equation follows along and it goes right. If I get the first thing wrong, then everything I do just misleads and goes wrong. So of course, everybody got material aspiration, everybody wants to succeed in life
Fully
and all.
agree.
Yes, we do not deny that. But we should try to understand, just like Krishna told Arjuna, that first of all you think of me and then you do your duty. So we have to know as a spiritual person how to perform our material duties. Now we do not know and simply do our material duty, and then at the time of that we die, and whatever consciousness of ours at the time of death, then it will carry us to the next body. And this way we will keep on going, dying and taking birth, and dying and taking birth. This is not good intelligence. So, and not only that, we may come back in different species, the 8.4 million species, or you say in your language 84 lakhs. We can end up in any one of these species, and that's going to be painful. Suppose I take a lower birth, like an animal or an insect or a reptile or a tree or a fish. I mean, that's not going to be happiness there. See, i- in this material world, every materialist desire to achieve happiness and diminish his distress. Therefore, he acts accordingly. However, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activity of happiness, his condition of distress begin. See this point? So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to get happiness. We are trying to squeeze this body for happiness. Please try to understand. A material happiness is the beginning and an end. That's material happiness. Now we are going to show you how to become happy eternally. This is a big difference. And even you are doing your material activities, like we are also here, we are not, we are outside here, we are also in this world, we are also eating, we are also sleeping. Of course, mating I don't do, but our members who are married, they do mating, and of course, there's also fearing and defending. So our point is that as a spiritual person, we are in the material world, but we should know how to get this eternal happiness. That is the issue now. Temporary happiness is already there. If you like or not, you'll come and go,
But
as it's
don't you
explained.
think, Swamiji,
Mm,
don't you think, Swamiji,
mm, mm. It
these
doesn't
students
matter.
who are very young right now,
It's no more relevance of student or not student. The main thing is that we are soul. We are spirit souls, and we are taking countless
but
births. We have now taken the body in India as a student, as a young man, whatever. But we soon will go through the stages of old age. Our body will, become old, and then we have to prepare for death. And that is the
but if
issue.
they are not ready to listen, if they are
Oh
not
no,
ready
the
to even
question is
appreciate the
no, the
concept and
question
all
is
that,
no,
what
the
do we
question
do?
is no, the question is first of all, you have to get educated on this point. Then we will have to work towards it. What's the point of not knowing this that you're going to die? And you're trying to, uselessly gather happiness which is going to be temporary. Eventually that also will go. So if I know that if I'm a spirit soul and I have to prepare for my next life, then I will prepare it from youth. This is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Kaumaram acharet pragyo. You start this thing as youth. You don't start this when you're old, because when you're old, your body is
Yes.
decapacitated and you cannot even do what you have to do. Your mind and your all will be dearranged, because you have so much disease and sickness. You cannot control your mind, because the main idea is not the concern of trying to aspire. The main concern is how to control the mind. Because if whatever the mind is attached to, the next subsequent life you will go. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, whatever you're
Uh,
thinking of at the time of death, you will attain the next body. So now if the youth, we are preparing in such a way that we are not going to think about how to go back to the spiritual world with God, then our consciousness will be rearranged. And if suppose, let's say I'm thinking of my dear wife all the time, and then next life I'll become a woman. Now if I say I'm very attached to my dear dog, next life I'm going to end up as a dog. Now what's the use? This life I may be a prime minister or a big CEO or whatever, and next life I become a dog. Is that intelligence? This is waste of time. So whether you prepare or not prepare, this is the subject matter that we have to prepare, because our body is going to die. That's the point. Either I'm going to die now or next moment or even 100 years, but I am going to die. That is the main thing that I have to prepare
uh,
for. I may be a big
Swamiji,
man
can
and
you just
prepare.
check
Yes.
your camera?
Camera, what? I can't.
Just sorry to interrupt. Can you double check, is your camera on? I think
Okay, yeah,
something went
all right,
off.
all right. My camera came on now. So therefore, this is the most essential thing in human life. That's why the whole Shastra of coming from your country, yeah, your books, these are ancient books, they are not old. They are very ancient, and they have this knowledge, inside this book that benefit the whole world. And that's only in India. Nowhere else in the world these books are there. This information is also from only in this part of your world, India. And this knowledge is so important, because if anyone doesn't know this, then he's wasting time.
Swamiji,
Yeah, tell me.
yes. Swamiji, there is a report. There
Uh,
is a report which is called as World Happiness Index.
yes.
There is a report which is called World Happiness Index, in which
Mm,
they have measured the level of happiness of different countries. So
yes.
156 countries happiness they have measured this report,
Mm,
and
mm.
India is at 144 rank.
Yes,
Number
materially,
one country,
materially.
which is the happiest country, is
That is
Finland.
materially. That's materially. That's why Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, don't try to seek happiness outside. Try to speak happiness inside you. You know, you can go to verse 522, Bhagavad Gita 522. Krishna says that you try to seek happiness inside. Now, what's the use of happiness outside? I already say yes. India 146, Singapore maybe 5 6, what it is. But still, people are not happy because they are fearing death. That is the issue. Whether you are a very rich man or a very poor man or any man, whatever matter. But death is fearful. And Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, I come as sure as death. Any moment it can come. It's not that a young man will not die. Now, COVID, so many young people are dying also. Huh? Therefore, an intelligent person does not take in the source of misery which is due to the contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such
So
pleasure
how
is the
to move
beginning and end.
forward?
So the wise man
So
does
how
not
to
realize
get
what?
rid?
Yes,
How
how
to
to
get rid
get
of
rid.
this fear,
Yes, how to get rid of fear. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if
or
you
to
come
get
to
this
me,
eternal happiness?
yes, so you go one verse before this, Haribol 521, 521. So real happiness is within us. Who is within us? That we have to know. Ah, and actually, everybody is always having some pleasure within, you know, right? Sometimes you feel overjoyed. Why? Because the super soul, God, is sitting in our heart. So when we go to God, who is the source of all happiness, then we become really happy. And he's sitting in the heart. Krishna is, it says in the Bhagavad. See here, can you see? Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the supreme. So this is what God is saying. Because who is that person sitting in our heart? Is God Himself. And if you connect with Him, you get unlimited happiness. Now, why go for temporary happiness, which has got a beginning and end? So this knowledge we have to know, whether you are a doctor, engineer, whatever, doesn't matter. So we need to go
Okay.
and get this happiness. That is the purpose of human life.
Swamiji,
Yes,
yes. Swamiji,
yes.
since I am from a business school,
Mm,
and most students from engineering or commerce or science background they have.
mm,
So whenever they meet a scientist or a company,
mm.
they try to believe them the more as compared to a spiritual organization. So
Naturally,
can you
naturally,
please tell like little example? Because they
naturally.
listen to them more, because
Yeah,
they are
that
making
is
a career in education, career in
doesn't mean
business,
that
career in
doesn't mean that
engineering.
Arjuna. That means Arjuna is a fool. Arjuna is a military general. He's more qualified
Yes.
than all of the CEOs in the world. And he's been taught this ancient science. Krishna did not speak about material things. In fact, he chastised him. What is your use of all these material things, Arjuna? You're talking big learned words, but you don't know what is the goal of life. Even God himself chastised him. So, yes, materially he may be an engineer. Let's say he's the prime minister of the country, whatever. Huh? But if he doesn't know this science, then what is the use of value of his life? Because
Yes.
only
So,
in the human platform you have intellectual capacity to inquire. You don't have this
so
facility in
the
any other species.
yes,
Huh?
yes.
So
So can you please tell
our purpose of
uh,
human life is to inquire to the goal of goal of human values. How can I become eternally happy? Why I should seek temporary happiness? Temporary happiness is with the body. Our purpose is to seek eternal happiness for the soul. Now, even a bird, if the
so
if there's a bird and a cage, if I just keep taking care of the cage and not feed the bird inside, then what is the use? The bird will die. That's how it is. We are now trying to take care of the body. We may try to dress nicely and put all the so-called education, whatever, but the soul is not satisfied. So therefore, even though you are trying to get all your, see, like for example, Bill Gates, whoever, you see, he may have all the wealth,
So
the knowledge
Swamiji,
and all that, but because he is not connecting to the soul, so he's unhappy, although he has billions and billions of dollars.
so Swamiji, students
Hmm.
want to ask a question.
Yes.
They are saying, can you please tell if among those who are scientists or those who are engineers, those who are CEOs, if
Hmm.
can you give one example if somebody is doing something in direction and they have found something, so that they can relate to it. Can you give any few examples of
Why not?
somebody's
Why not
from
relate?
the
Why
business?
not relate to the greatest personality, Arjuna, and from your country? He's
Because
also a
they
big
don't know
general.
that person.
Why Arjuna
They
is
have
from your
thought on they,
country? No, come on, you must try to
I
understand. Your
yes, we all
India,
know.
listen,
We all
my dear sir, India is the place where God came down.
yes,
There's nowhere in the world he went
yes.
except India. And you say you students don't know this. That's a shame on your country. Come on. This is what you have to be exporting the whole
No,
world,
they are
because only,
knowing.
listen, you are saying something which is very irrelevant. Come on, try to understand how valuable that Lord personally come to your country and he walked on your place, and you're saying that no, this is not very important. I want some other material man
No,
who's
no,
going to,
no.
who
I am
died,
not
who,
say,
that is very, 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 I'm say, offensive. God has personally come to your country, and I'm outside your
okay.
country. I'm from Singapore, and I'm learning from you. And this you say that your student don't know. This is very ridiculous, my dear sir.
No, no,
Ah,
no. It is
ah.
not that point. It
But
is
yeah,
not
this is
that
the
point.
point
It is
precisely, because India is the only country that can save the world,
okay.
not some CEO and some some
Uh,
material person. And this knowledge is so important, vital for everyone, because it gives eternal happiness. Why speak about material
Akshay.
happiness?
Okay. Okay.
Huh?
Akshay,
Yes.
beta, are you there? Akshay,
Yes, I can hear you. Yes,
beta, you
sir.
please take few questions, please.
Yes,
I
sir.
think now we are on the
Yes.
middle in the right time now. Yes.
Yes, you can ask the question.
Prabhu, if you can just tell, we just received this one question from our students.
Hmm.
They are saying that how much relevant are these shastras today?
Yes.
These scriptures, how what is their relevance in today's time? They were written such long time ago.
Yes. So although the scriptures are written long time ago, but the information is very relevant because it concerns about the soul. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I spoke this sign millions and millions ago, but I'm saying the same thing to you, Arjuna. He did not speak something new. He spoke the same thing. And how is it relevant? Like this. Unless you understand this, you first, if I want to taste the honey, I have to open the bottle and take the honey, and then I know it is sweet or not sweet. If I just try to lick the bottle outside, I will not know the contents of it. So spiritual life is like that. Unless I get this information from God and understand it and how to apply it, I must know. Application is also important. So you need to go to a guru to learn this. You cannot just take the book and learn and that's it. You have to also learn how to apply this to your life. Then yes, it's very relevant. I am actually practicing this for 46 years, and I'm in a very advanced country in Singapore where we are actually very open in many ways, and this is so relevant in so many people's life. And I also was in America. I was also talking about the same subject. And yes, many Americans are very much astounded. Why? Because they say this is the real knowledge. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that this is the topmost knowledge, the king of all education. How can be he speaking something which is irrelevant? Come on, please. This message is eternal. It has got no time, what we say, factor to say it is, it is outdated and it is relevant or irrelevant. Because whatever is from God spiritual is eternal. That means it is relevant now, it will be relevant a million years from now and a million years from now. Because this application knowledge is so vital for the soul. It is not for the body. Material knowledge, yes, you always have to have reviews of the reviews of the reviews, or have more new things added, because it is speculative, very relative. Whereas this is not in that position. It is set by God now, and you'll be same thing will be applicable for all of us for years and years to come. That's why many times Krishna says, this is the same thing I'm telling you. You are not the body, you are spirit soul. The moment you connect to the spiritual realm with God, then yes, it's very, very relevant. And in fact, you will get a lot of strength, you will get a lot of enthusiasm, you will get a lot of, you see, can you go to this verse 266 of the Bhagavad Gita? You can see here what it is says. How relevant it is, you can see. So therefore, we have to study this book. This book is coming from your India. This is a message that God sent to Arjuna. Why not try to study this and apply this knowledge to your so-called material life? You are not say just study spiritually. You have to say you have to live side by side, because you have a material body. So the Lord will give instruction. He's giving instruction how to conduct ourselves when we are stuck in this material body. When one who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor steady mind, without which there's no possibility of peace. How can there be any happiness without peace? This is spoken 5,000 years ago. It's very relevant even today. If our mind is full of lust, which then leads to anger, which then leads to greed, and which leads to envy, and finally bewilderment of the mind, and finally you fall down. And that's what's happening in the whole world. People are all becoming very passionate, and as a result, there's so much friction, fighting, quarreling. Uh, this is the program that is going on, and Krishna explained that also. When you just don't control your mind, all these things, these bad qualities develop. It is relevant millions of years ago, it's relevant
Swamiji,
even now.
can you
Yes,
give, as the time is, Swamiji, as we are
yes,
closing the time, just can you give one method what students can do to realize this understanding? Any one method?
yes. The best method is connect ourselves to God, Krishna. And the best way to do it, as well Krishna says in this verse. Can you go 6 to 12, Bhagavad Gita, purport? Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasteva gatiranyata. In this Kali Yuga, where everything is topsy-turvy, everything is messed up, the best way to get this happiness is to chant the name of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You try it. It is from your India. You try it. If you see how well you get this happiness, instantly you will get happiness, because God is full of happiness. God is called Sat Chit Ananda. He's full of happiness. We are pleasure seeking, whereas God is pleasure giving. So this you have to understand. So when we connect with Him, you get all happiness, and that is the conclusion. You can try it. I don't say that I'm forcing you or whatever. You give it a try and
Okay.
see whether you're going to be happy or not. You check it out.
Yes, already Bhagavad Gita is a very famous holy scripture in India, and many of the people in India are already aware of this. It is just that the young generation who has yet to enter into these dimensions, they
Correct.
need to
Correct.
they need to be minded, they need to be told by their family members, friends,
No, no,
teachers
no, no. You
about
must
their.
go. No, you must go to a person who knows Bhagavad Gita. Family members don't know this book. That's why they're pushing you on a material, on platform. You want to learn something, some like you explain your qualification. You are a professor, and if I want to
Yes,
learn some subject, I have to go to you. So why not to
yes,
learn spiritual subject? Come to people like us. We are also as much qualified in this realm. So you cannot just learn this at home, sitting there and getting a book. No, you have to go. Krishna
right.
says you have to go to a guru.
Any audience, sir, if you say we can take one question from the audience. Audience, you have one question you want to ask, please raise hand to ask a question to him. Whatever question you want to ask, you can raise hand.
So that's our
Anybody want
mantra.
to ask a
Mantra
question?
means connecting with our mind to God. That is called mantra. And that
Okay.
ancient mantras coming from India, from your India. And this
Yes, we are
mantras is
aware.
how with the soul will get real happiness. You know, you become really happy. Please try to learn this. because as you are trying to do your material thing, you always face challenges. Your challenges are sometimes so overwhelming that the person become very demoralized, depressed. Depression is so popular word now. But if you keep this thing that I'm telling you, this mantra, especially Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, it will solve all your depression, and it will generate enthusiasm where you will perform, excel materially also.
Right.
Simple. It is
I
coming from
think
your India. It's coming from
yes,
your India. Come on, you have to
yes,
teach
yes,
this to the whole world. This is the job of the Indians because these secrets are all stored there. Millions of years old
yes,
secrets. And this
yes.
is the most important thing in life because it gives you complete happiness.
Right.
You
So I
understand?
think the message was very clear as given by you, sir.
Yes.
In terms of building values, peace is the, should I say, even to be happy, peace is the first criteria
Yes.
to be
Yes.
happy.
Yes.
And we cannot be peaceful unless we know ourselves. As you said very
Yes.
wisely, you
Yes.
have to know yourself. And to know
Yes.
yourself, ISKCON is one of the leading organization who has prophesied, or you can say promoted the idea of God consciousness
Yes.
or soul consciousness. So I'm
We have many IIT people in our organization. Many who have sacrificed all their material pursuit and have ventured in this line to propagate this message.
right.
Many. We're not just that we are, have some mediocre people or whatever. We
So
have
we would love
highly.
to have you. Yes. Sir, whenever you are to India, whenever you coming to India, we would love to
Mm,
welcome you and just let us know in advance when you have some plans. Right now, there are some travel things issues going
restriction
on.
now, yeah. So because of the
Yes,
restriction, but of course we can always have another Zoom session. Yeah, I'm already
yes,
easily
we can
available.
always have that. Next
Then
time we
for
will not
now,
use this one.
yes,
Next time we will not
this
use this
yeah,
one.
this is not so good platform. If
I
you
don't
can
think
get
something
into
happened at
if
other
I
side. No
can get
problem.
into the Zoom
So
session, then I can, easily show my screen and
yes,
explain this ancient secret of yours, to you again. So to revive your consciousness that how valuable secret treasures that you all are sitting on. And if you can actually get to it, you become the richest, happiest person in the world.
right.
This is what it is, and this should
So
be
this is the
exported. India should export this.
Yes. So this is what the endeavor was for this class and for my students.
Yes,
They should be inculcating the values, and because they are attached with various NGOs and they are
yes,
doing very good social work right now in India,
yes,
and it requires peaceful mind and a caring mind,
yes,
and this can happen if they adopt one advice that you have given to know yourself.
yes,
We are not just body, we are not just the mind, we are beyond
yes,
that.
yes,
If we live with that consciousness, I'm
yes,
sure everybody would be able to align their life to a higher reality.
yes,
Otherwise,
definitely.
as you said, we should not pursue the happiness. Otherwise,
Yes,
life is a misery. So
correct.
happiness is already
Materialize.
inside. We shouldn't pursue. Pursue means
Yes,
it is already outside, but we
yes,
don't have to pursue.
yes. Material pleasure has got a beginning and end. Spiritual pleasure has no
With
end.
such good, nice advice that you have given to everybody today. So we have that you have taken time to join us today to tell the secret of happiness and the basis of the human values, which is peace. And to have that peace, you have to have this kind of understanding that who you are, and this you can get once we have this consciousness of the highest consciousness level. Once we are attached with this, things are all aligned, and happiness flows eternally, lifetime for anybody, for everybody.
Yes.
So I would like my student Akshay to give a vote of thanks to you, please. Akshay, over to you.
Thank, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, now I can hear. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sparing your valuable time, and thank you for showing us this valuable treasure, Prabhu, that has been stored in our racks or somewhere down our cupboards. I think after this session, we'll be very much motivated to read our Vedic scriptures, which have this knowledge, which have the real power to change the world. And thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving us your blessings and for your valuable and kind efforts. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Sundar sir. Thank you so much for coming. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
We look forward to welcoming you once again. Thank you.